My name is Daniel Uyeunten, and I'm a physical therapist by trade. I'm the director of the Robeson Family Innovation Center here at Rehab Hospital of the Pacific. This is my oral presentation on my WGU MBA Capstone. Instead of doing what my career goals would be, I'm actually in the career that I would be using my MBA for. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain my current project, and it'll address all 7 points that's being required for the oral capstone. So as the director of the Innovation Center here at Rehab Hospital, I am in charge of program development, I'm in charge of technology, purchasing equipment, and also I manage a clinic of about 27 employees. This is our largest outpatient clinic here at the hospital's organization, and through this clinic we test out the different technologies, the different programs to see if it works or if it doesn't. If it does work, then we pass that technology or that program on to the rest of the hospital or to other outpatient clinics. Okay, so the project that I'm currently working on is an Asian medical tourism and cross-training program. The opportunity that this arose from is that in the past year I've been giving lectures at the University of Hawaii about, and here at Rehab Hospital, to Japanese students with physical therapy, occupational therapy, and nursing degrees. What I've learned over the past year is that the Japanese didactic base isn't as good as the American education system. So for example, the American physical therapists will have to have a 4-year undergraduate degree, and then they will also have to complete a 2 to 3 year doctor of physical therapy program. The 4-year bachelor's degree can be in anything. It can be in nursing, it can be in engineering. For example, my 4-year degree was in psychology. Just as long as you meet the prerequisites for physical therapy school, then you can apply to any accredited physical therapy program. On the other hand, the Japanese physical therapists are currently in a 2-year associate's degree. There is a movement right now to go to a 4-year degree to compete on a more of a global scale and to raise that didactic bar. But most of the physical therapists who are currently working in the Japanese healthcare system have the 2-year associate's degree, and most of their treatment techniques is through learning on the job. And so basically their treatment techniques are only as good as the therapist that they're working under. And so if there isn't exposure to other treatment techniques or other hospitals, they're kind of stuck in this frame of treatment. So the team that I'm trying to build and put together to initiate this program consists of all disciplines involved with spinal cord injury rehabilitation in the acute and outpatient phases. So I need to work with department chairs and department heads of medicine, of therapy, inpatient, and I would be the outpatient therapist department head. I would have to work with the director of nursing, dietary, and the psychology department as well. So a physiatrist is a medical doctor who specializes in physical rehabilitation or physical medicine. The physical therapist, occupational therapist, and speech-language pathologists are there to help the patient in gaining mobility, learning how to do daily activities like dressing, bathing, and also if they have problems with swallowing, positioning so that they can sit up and eat without choking, those types of things. Nurses, obviously, when they're first coming out of their injury and they're recovering, the first steps of recovery, they're all admitted to a hospital. And we specialize at Rehab Hospital in spinal cord injury and a lot of neurological pathologies like strokes and Parkinson's. And so the nurses play a big role while they're here at the hospital. Dietary, they go over different consistencies of foods that they'll be able to eat, depending on what their spinal cord level, the level of their injury. They may need to have help with actually eating, setting up for meals, and positioning so that they can swallow and breathe more efficiently and safely. And then a big part of any kind of spinal cord injury program is the psychology. Because it's such a life-changing event, psychology is a very, very important part of their recovery. And this is interesting because psychology also plays into cultural differences. And the cultural differences between Asian hospitals and American hospitals is quite drastic. In America, we're encouraged to be more open, to share, to discuss your fears, to discuss anxiety, to discuss sexuality. In Japan, from what I understand from my Japanese colleagues, that is very taboo. And so that part of the recovery isn't addressed as well as it is here in America. Okay. So the venue that this program is going to take part, currently Rehab Hospital of the Pacific is undergoing a complete renovation down to the skeleton of the hospital. We're upgrading everything from the flooring, walls, infrastructure, electricity, air conditioning. We're installing solar panels, and it's really a gut the entire hospital and really a big renovation. And so part of that renovation is to include more of a home feel to the hospital. So once the renovations are completed, this would be the venue where a lot of that training that the complete team would provide. Also, we are Rehabilitation Hospital of the Pacific, and we're located in Honolulu, Hawaii. And so the venue of being in Hawaii is not is quite an easy sell, and it's a way that the Japanese department heads or the CEO or the president of these different hospitals or universities would be able to reward good employees, good therapists, good physicians, their top people, to send them over here to Hawaii for more continuing education. And there is a push more for that type of reward instead of just giving them a paycheck or a bonus. Because with a bonus, yes, you get extra money, but that doesn't enrich what's going to happen at their facility. And so as a reward for their top people, I think we'd be able to provide a good cross-training program, but in a beautiful setting like Hawaii.